Looks like we got everybody caught up here. But before we head down into this entrance, any tour you take, you got to go over the rules and warnings. Every one of those tours, you'll see a ranger hold one of these cards. Most of this stuff's pretty common sense. It's things that most people would do even if I didn't ask you. But not all people apparently, and that's why I got to go down the list here. One side of the card's about our safety. It says at the top, if you have harder breathing problems, trouble walking long distances, navigating stairs, other health concerns, consider those limitations before you go in the cave. That's why I go over that description at the visitor center. I want to make sure that you know what to expect. Everybody's prepared before they get out here. The only thing I would add to that is sometimes we get in the cave and things happen that you're not expecting. If you're having any difficulty, let us know. We want to catch a small problem underground before it becomes a big problem. You'll see almost immediately as we go in this entrance that it would be very difficult to carry someone out of some of the sections of the cave we're going to. We've had cave rescues on this tour route. It's only 1 mile long, 6 hours to get somebody out of the cave. It can be a serious ordeal depending on where we're at and what we're dealing with. So make sure we're taking care of that stuff as we're going through. One of the things I'm going to do up front to kind of help avoid problems is I'm going to be walking real slow up front. What's going to tend to happen, we're going through a lot of single file areas, a group of this size, somebody's going to stop and take a picture, somebody's going to stop, tie a shoe, somebody's going to just stop to look at the wall. Every time those little stops happen, even if you're just creating a very small gap, all those gaps are building, and that person in the last person coming in the doorway, they got to fill in those gaps at some point. So there's moments today, if you're in the very back of the line, the pace will be much faster than it ever is in the front. Knowing that's going to happen when we go through certain areas, I'm going to go through an obstacle like a staircase or a narrow space, walk a few yards, stop. And I'm just in the front just hanging out because I'm letting those gaps behind me close together. If you need that slow pace, get in the front of the group. The back of the group is the worst place to be if you want a slow pace. Also, as we're going through the cave today, stay on the trail. Trail's clearly marked, easy to see. Most of our trail today is going to be paved. Stay with the group. Part of that's staying with the folks that you came with or who forced you onto this cave tour. If you're going to take pictures today, you're more than welcome to do so, but we do have a no flash photography policy. They used to allow flash here, but they also used to have this thing called film. And when they had film, you ran out of pictures, and you don't run out of pictures anymore, and flashes on cameras today are much brighter than they used to be. And it has become a health concern, really. We started to see people having seizures and PTSD episodes and all kinds of stuff. So they've outlawed the flash here at Mammoth Cave. Good news is most people's cameras and phones have like a night mode or something like that. And that takes pretty good pictures in the cave. See, back of the card, it's about protecting the cave. Pretty simple. Don't litter. Don't leave anything behind. Everything we see, leave as is. Don't pick up rocks, move stuff around. We ask you not to touch the walls, the ceilings of the cave. We leave behind oils that will damage the rocks, change the appearance of the cave. There might be a few places going down the stairs here at the beginning where there's a little gap in the handrail and you may need to reach out and steady yourself. We understand that. We just don't want people rubbing on the walls to see what a rock feels like, because it feels like a rock. No weapons, no tobacco, no e-cigarettes, no selfie sticks, tripods, child backpack carriers, food or drink other than water while we're inside the cave. If you got a reason for, a medical reason for a little piece of candy or something like that, that doesn't bother me. I want to, again, stay safe while we're down there. Just make sure that wrapper ends up in your pocket, not on the ground of the cave, as we move on down the trail.
And share it with you.
What's that?
And share it with you.
Share it with us, yeah. We like to have a little snack every once in a while, too. Anybody have any questions about the safety stuff before we head down? I said this is a man-made entrance we're about to walk into. It was made in 1921. It's called the new entrance to Mammoth Cave. We're going to tell you why when we get to the bottom of the stairs. But enjoy this part. It doesn't look like much from the outside. It's pretty awesome inside.
He was the, you know that fat guy that poker? Have you ever seen mine? You know, like that. You know,
Yeah.
There's not going to be any bad
Simon, was it a person or dinosaur?
It was an animal, honey.
Okay, good.
Did you see it?
Now we're going downstairs.
Yes, very small stairs. Ellie, give her some space. Wait till she gets down.
That's super cool.
That is super cool. Ellie, did you look up this way? Up there. Did you see it?
Yeah.
Yes. Are you making Walmart with your hands?
No, not right here. They're going to the extra. It's that. You'll notice as you go through all the caves, the rocks or the part of the wall that's really, really smooth is from all the oils on people's fingers. I should not avoid. They're dirty and long. Right?
Hi.
Whoa, look at that. Very much love this. Yeah. Look at that.
Okay. Well, you gotta be careful. Your head's right at the intro line. Did it hurt you? Okay.
What's your hair color? Hi, Mama. Hi, Mama.
What?
And plus there's going to be bats, and I don't like that.
There's no, honey, there's not going to be.
Yeah, then why does it say there's going to be bats?
They don't want anything to do with you.
Hey, but yeah, at least you have Friday night on again, Friday.
Huh?
At least you have Friday night on.
So you hike down to the cave like this, and then you dropped into water and then underground.
Yeah.
Will they turn off all the lights in this one?
At some point, yes, maybe. Then they'll turn my back on. They should do a little experiment.
I need to hold your hand at that point.
Absolutely.
They're not going to have them all before now.
I scared my finger and so line up in the
Oh man. I know. Resist the urge to explore. I believe it.
Ellie, there people's breathing room.
Ellie, wait at that stair. Just a second. Wait.
There you go.
Ellie, wait. I want two sets. No, you can stick with your sister.
Skip this part.
This is my mom.
That's not very nice.
Just take it slow. Move slowly. Don't use any rush. Okay, Ellie, look up.
I don't want to get off.
We're looking at tarantulas.
It might be a
The
cave.
cave crickets, yeah.
Cave cricket.
They call them, I'll put tarantulas.
like that, and no tarantulas.
No shelobs.
Well, not all the cave is explored yet, right? So it could be. No, that was probably a drone.
Ellie.
Ellie, honey, stay close to God.
I wish nobody other than
That's fine. That looked right up.
You do?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I wish nobody else other than
Ellie, honey, did you guys see that little possum? Here. Ellie.
Right here. I wish there was only me, you, and Simon and Ellie on the trip.
Yeah.
Because then it wouldn't be so
Well, unfortunately, we're not near enough.
That's good. That's why we chose the back. Because you people populated, or densely populated space, you're not gonna walk.
Ellie, we are all waiting for you.
Yeah, you don't have to rush her. You can look around.
She's playing. She's playing.
You paid a lot of money to look around. You know, it's a lot of work to stabilize and
Probably when they built this thing, they used to
let it look over the edge.
Hey, Ellie, did you look over the edge?
Ellie, did you look over the edge over here? Yeah, you can go look.
Mommy, Simon, be careful with your water.
All right, we will. Thank you for watching out for us.
of people hear that number I mentioned a minute ago, like 426 miles. Maybe you get to think like, this thing must stretch to Chicago or something. It's not like that. It's a big maze. I think of passageways all interconnected, multiple levels all together, and it fits in a pretty confined space. There's essentially 4 ridges here in this area of Kentucky that have passages that will be part of the Mammoth Cave system today. And each of those ridges have multiple levels. And over time, the explorers, the mappers, the surveyors have been able to find passages that connect under the valleys that separate those ridges. So down typically in the lower depths of the cave, they find those tunnels. So if you took a surface map and you drew all the little squiggly lines of where the cave goes, and then you wanted to draw a box around where that area was, it's a 7 mile by 7 mile square. It contains 426 miles of cave passage. So it's really, really confined. It's basically where 3 little counties here in Kentucky meet where you're going to find those ridges. No real films made in the cave. I would imagine that it's easier in Hollywood to build a set that looks like a cave in a cave. They've got a little documentary work here, some like news interviews and stuff. Anybody else have a question? Yeah, we do have minerals in the cave. Nothing precious, nothing valuable. Mostly what you find are different types of salts. The dryness of this cave environment. You notice right where we're at compared to where we were just at. Very, very dry. The dryness of these passages that we have here at Mammoth Cave cause moisture to kind of be pulled towards them. And that moisture being pulled towards this big open airspace sometimes pulls minerals to the surface. So you get stuff like gypsum, something called mirabolite, epsomite. They're all different types of salts. Formed on a very, very slow kind of scale compared to it. But it's kind of like when we sweat and you know, your shirt dries, you get that salt rain on your shirt. Those minerals are kind of like that. The salt's kind of being sweated out of the walls over a long period of time here in the cave. Way over, and then we got
Any particular fossils found in the caves?
Yeah, the fossils you find in this limestone are typically sea life. You find corals and seashells and fish fossils. The big thing that's been hitting the news the past few years is the shark species that have been finding in the cave. We're up to something like 160 different species of sharks and shark-like fishes, stingrays, other fishes that have cartilages and skeletons. And some of those are brand new species to science. They're up to 3 identified new species. Folks, we got everybody here. I know we got some more questions. We'll try to take some more as we go a little bit along. We kind of do need to get going here in just a little bit. But I promise you I'll tell you why they called that the new entrance before we came in. Basically, that was an entrance made in 1921. It was made by a guy named George Morrison. And in 1921, the only entrance that was really used for tours of Mammoth Cave was the big natural entrance that's over where the visitor center is at today. If you haven't seen that, you can walk down the hill behind the visitor center, check it out this evening. You'll leave the park. And tours have been going on there for over 100 years. But this guy figures out in the 19-teens and early 20s that the passages those tours are using are going beyond the property lines of what those people own on the surface. This is before this is a national park. And so he's willing to take that next step and go out beyond their property line to places like that big sinkhole we walked in coming into the cave and blast holes in the ground. It's a lot easier to get your hands on dynamite in the 1920s than it is today. And he's making these holes in the ground and searching them out. And lo and behold, after 2 weeks of exploration coming out through all of that stuff back there, they popped into this room and traveled into side passages off of it that began to find signatures on the walls from those tours from the Mammoth Cave historic entrance, we call it today. And so they knew they were in Mammoth Cave. Within just a few months, they had a wooden staircase. And they were bringing people in here and taking them on a cave tour. You can imagine the folks that owned the old entrance didn't much care for that, so that guy ends up getting sued pretty quickly. But he proves that he's connected to that cave entrance. He actually sends guides down to the property line. He convinced some visitors to jump tour right there inside the cave. And when they come out, they sign an affidavit saying they went in one entrance and came out the other. He called it the new entrance because it was smart. He could have called it anything that he wanted to. He could have called it Super Happy Fun Cave if he wanted to. But calling it the new entrance was smart because you had to pass his entrance to get to their entrance. So all he had to do was throw up a sign in 1921, "Turn here, new entrance to Mammoth Cave." And everybody going to Mammoth Cave just followed the sun. And they turned and they went down, and he never told them it's different. They would go into these sections of the cave. He even had places in this section of the cave named after famous places in the other section of the cave. And so you might leave thinking that you had seen the world famous Mammoth Cave, and what you had seen was stuff that really had just been discovered, just a year or two earlier. Not the stuff that was being used, hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago, prehistoric people in those sections of the cave that never made it over this far. What we're going to do from here is make our way up this big hill, I promise you. So we're going up. It's called the Big Break here. You watch your head and get beyond what you can see. Focus in the dark. Where does that go?
I mean, it goes to more caves, but we have a route called Grand Avenue on that one. It's about 4 miles, 4 hours. What we're about to do is the last, half a mile of it.
Oh, nice. To come back, do that?
It's a good tour.
Now can I go?
No. He's watching this and when I went, they went into business.
Simon, is sleeping on the stage?
Well, I think that
People go on and on.
Just what if you fell back in here?
What does that say?
Looks like
N-R-B?
that's what it looks like. Looks like someone's initials, maybe, or a couple's initials. Hard to say.
It's R-H-S-E-B-B-N-M.
Mama went R-U-N-N-O-N-T. They spell it.
Come on.
When the people came, they came to them.
Ellie.
Ellie.
Did you look back up this way? There's some rocks. That's a lot of big heavy rocks, yes.
How did they get there and not fall all the way down?
They must have just gotten stopped there.
I'd be terrified if a tornado happened.
Honey, I think we're probably in the safest place for a tornado. As long as there's not an earthquake, we're good.
If there is an earthquake, we'll
And then these are so structurally sound that nothing bad will happen.
yeah, we're the safest place right now.
Be like, no,
I remember that for anything.
we got pictures.
Earthquake. Did the caveman no.
Watch your hand, Heather. Okay.
Mom, did the caveman do this? Mommy, look.
Oh.
Oh, Mom, look.
Thank you for, because I got on it all and forgot about it. With you just ignite, gasoline. That's very. Hey, don't touch the rocks on the wall. That's very lovely. You boo.
Thought you could make it?
Yeah, I'm ready. So pretty. Yeah, it does. So it looks like it.
You okay?
Good catch, Ellie. Good job. I'm so proud of you.
Now I'm gonna shake it.
I'm gonna carry it the steps. No, come here.
No.
Just be careful. No rush. Move around. Observe. We paid a lot of money to look at rocks.
No.
What's wrong? Okay, it's time to go to the grapevine. There we go. Are we better now? Okay.
I still want to be on the left.
It's okay. I'm bigger. That way, if you guys fall backwards, I can catch you. Or the rocks again.
And the man behind you will catch you.
Yeah. See? Cool, isn't it?
And I think they have first aid breaks.
They do, just in case somebody needs a boo-boo. Fixer-upper.
They don't need a boo-boo.
A boo-boo fixer-upper, I said.
But that just had to get over here. You have to definitely find it. Probably. What is that?
The hole that they drew up in concrete.
What,
That seems-
what's this?
Those are all initials. I love somebody. I can't read it. It's marked off. But these are for people writing on the side of the cave, which you're not supposed to do.
Which are dark places?
Why did you vandalize rock to show me your love?
What?
Nothing.
I wish you vandalized. I wish you had
No,
drawn on my
there's no
rocks.
wish. So why didn't you vandalize rocks to show me your love? I'm worth a felony, right?
You want a felony?
That's what I'm worth one, right?
I think this is bad.
Yeah, I think so.
I'll carry it. No, here.
Thank you.
We got everybody just about caught up here, folks. So, I met you back in the beginning, or at that last stop, and I kind of forgot to do talking about the limestone rock folks were catching up. This limestone rock means calcium-based rock. And that's why it allows for cave formation so easily. And that's pretty common. Most caves in the world form in limestone because of the calcium-based. Essentially what's happened was water that was coming in at the beginning wasn't water. It was mostly water. It's mixed with a little carbon dioxide. It mixes with it in the atmosphere. It mixes as that water flows through the soils above our heads. And what that does is actually makes that water droplet slightly acidic. And the acidity of that water coming in contact with the base calcium of this rock creates a chemical reaction on a very small scale. But it is big enough that it helps to break down the rock a little bit. That's why caves form so easily in limestone. The secret to the world's longest cave is what's making it dry in the spring. It's because we have actually a second type of rock that influences Mammoth Cave. When you get out on the edge of the ridge, on the hillside, you get down in the valley, that's limestone. But up on top of the ridge, the top's 50 to 100 feet, depending on where you measure it, is sandstone. And that sandstone has a little bit of shale rock embedded in it. And the sandstones we have in this area of Kentucky don't have calcium in them. And so what happens when it rains inside the park, rainwater hitting the top of that ridge, it doesn't have that chemical reaction. It is just like regular water hitting it. And it'll either pull up on the top of the ridge. There's some swampy areas up on the highest points of the land in this area because that sandstone holds the water so well. Or it sheds the water off the side of the hill. Once it goes so far down the hill and it hits that limestone, then it can come down here to the cave. That sinkhole we walked into, basically where that door was, to the top of the ridge is more or less where the sandstone layers are at. Down here you don't really see the sandstone. So this is all limestone around. So a lot of people ask about the ceiling. It's limestone. It's just the bottom of the layer of limestone. It didn't collapse, didn't fall in, all this other stuff did. Yeah, you got a question right here in front? Why are all the rocks messy? It's because this particular area of the cave got undercut. So when the rivers are carving through the rock layers, all this water flows through the hillsides, through the ridges, and then it emerges as a spring on the banks of the Green River. As that Green River carves deeper and deeper in its valley, rivers in the cave just simply drain through the rock layers and form lower levels. Upper levels start to dry out. But that new level being created below, sometimes it meanders like a river on the surface does, and sometimes that meandering undercuts an upper passageway. And if there's enough weakness created there, then it comes down eventually. And that's pretty much what happened here. I have been actually off in this hole behind me, and it's like a 80 to 100 foot climb down through a bunch of gnarly rocks that I would probably never ever do again because it's pretty sketchy. But I got to tag along with a researcher one time, and we went all the way down and got into that lower passageway below. So it connected to the level there behind. It's called Mammoth Cave because of the size of the passages, particularly going in the big natural entrance. It's just a big cave. No mammoths in Mammoth Cave. What kind of storm would flood the cave? It would take a lot of rain, but it happens. The lower levels will sometimes flood. Water to get up here, we need to build a boat and start rounding up some animals if the water got up this time. You're about 250, 300 feet above the elevation of I-65 inside this hill. So you're pretty high up compared to the land that's surrounding the lake. It would take major flooding to see water. Storm that never ends would probably do it. Yeah. It is actually like the longest cave in the world that we know of. The second longest cave, just to give you a reference, is about 280 some odd miles long. So we're at 426 and counting, so nobody's coming close just yet. If they ever do, we got an ace up our sleeve. I talked about the 4 ridges. There's a 5th ridge right next door. And in the 5th ridge is the world's 10th longest cave. They mapped over 130 miles in what's called the Fisher Ridge. They find a connection in another 130 miles, just like that. They say there's only like 100 yards between the passages and mapped passages in the Fisher Ridge. A couple more questions and we're going to keep going. There are bats in the cave, but I gotta tell you, they don't like us. And so it's rare that we see them on a cave tour. They don't like the lights, the noise. I hate to break it to you, they don't like the way we smell. So they go to other places where they don't have to deal with all this. How many rocks are in the world? Again, I don't know how to. All of them. All of the rocks in the world are in the world. That's what I can understand. Yeah. How do the crystals grow? So if you're talking about those minerals I was mentioning back, they're not really crystals. I guess they're kind of hard to say, but they're pretty fragile. They're not like a really hard, like a diamond or anything like that. And it's basically just the moisture passing through the rock. It's dissolving minerals that are within the rock and pulling them all the way to the surface. So like I said, it's kind of like when we sweat and that salt in our skin gets pulled to the outside of our skin. It's kind of how it works. It's about the best way I can explain it. If you look at this room, there are some stalactites on the ceiling. We're going to see a lot more here in just a little bit. These stalactites don't form anymore. There was a crack here at some point that was allowing water past that sandstone, but no longer getting into this passageway. But up ahead, this passage that we're in is headed straight towards the edge of the ridge. And when we get up here beyond the influence of the sandstone, we're coming out under a hillside where the water's seeping through nice and slow. Dissolving those minerals from the rock above, but then getting to these open passageways and just hanging. That carbon dioxide water mixture is not so stable. If it hangs out in open air too long, it releases the carbon dioxide. We experience that when we open a soda and leave it open too long. It goes flat. Same thing's happening to the water coming into the cave. Once that happens, no more carbon dioxide. It's not acidic anymore, and you can't keep the minerals in solution. So sometimes it hangs on the ceiling and leaves that. Sometimes it drifts to the floor and builds up. That's a stalagmite. And if it grows together, it's called a column. After that, it pretty much just mimics what it looks like. It's flowing down a wall, they call it a flowstone. If it looks like popcorn, it's popcorn. If it looks like bacon, they call it bacon. Yeah, these people are pretty hungry. Grapes. If it looks like grapes, what do they call that? Catching on. If it looks like a carrot, what do they call that? They call that a stalactite. We're going to see a whole lot of them.
Waiting for so patiently.
it's really dark where
See
people
how
touched
dark?
it?
Yeah.
but it's lighter up here and it's all smooth.
They
This
said
is,
don't flash and also don't touch the rocks.
I'm not
Don't touch the
flashing,
rocks, but
I'm showing.
that's because people didn't listen. They put oils on their fingers and the dirt and all that.
When you touch the rocks, it's not
Hey,
really so hot.
don't stop putting your feet.
Ellie.
Normal steps.
Ellie.
You're gonna play around too much and hurt yourself. And that's not gonna be fun for anybody down here. Watch your head, baby.
Stop trying your feet.
Alright, everyone go through girls to walk one ball.
Alright,
Down the
well,
path.
you restarted your time.
Are we about
next
to
year.
exit? Are we about to exit?
Nope. But we're heading toward Rosie Castle. Stalagmites and stalagmites. This is really nice. Nice background.
And then there's one over here.
I would not mind living in a cave if I had to.
Alright, good for the game. Well, come here, I'll carry you for a minute.
Ellie. No, you're not.
If I'm here, you scoot your feet. Look at this one. That's it. Come here. We're not gonna talk. No. If you need one, you're gonna hold my hand the rest of the time. No running off. Don't be smart. Come on. Straight up. Oh, not here.
Don't tell me the steps.
I'm not gonna give you the steps.
Don't make excuses, just don't do it. Okay? I love you. Yes.
That is perfect. Thank you. I love you. You've been super so far. Yes, ma'am.
What about the exit?
I love you. You're doing amazing.
What if that happens when
That was intentional. That was intentional.
Alright, we do have a big gap forming. We do want to make sure we keep up with our group.
You did really good, Leia. I'm very proud of you. I did. I just told you you did really, really good. I'm very proud of you. Oh, I told you about 2 minutes ago. That you're doing really good. I'm very proud of you. You're very welcome.
Are you glad I haven't been complaining?
It's okay to complain.
Mom,
It's not okay to
when
not
was
listen.
that really I haven't to take it off?
You've not complained, you've not fought, you've not been fussy, nothing rude.
I barely talked.
I think you guys been amazing.
It's been amazing.
I am so proud.
I barely talk.
Do you not want to talk to me?
I do need to talk.
What's that? you. So of course we're not throwing you over an edge.
I do know what
That's our game set. Just getting pretty low.
Not that close.
More stairs. Are your feet feeling okay? Yeah. Good. That makes me happy. I forgot them. Simon,
Yeah.
I asked Leia if her feet were doing okay. He said, I forgot I had feet.
What is doing okay? They don't even hurt. That's a really good sign.
That makes it the whole thing sound weird.
I'm not willing to risk your head against that rock.
Yeah. We were ahead. I appreciate that.
What are you doing? No, yeah.
Why is it brown?
We're touching rock.
It's okay. You reminded you, and you stopped. That's what's important.
For some reason, I want to rock climb down there.
Do you really though?
Like hook something up to it and then attach to it.
I want to, but I'm not ready. I see it. I wonder if that was where at some point.
Probably travel through water. Or the face of like here is very possible, yeah. But it doesn't come out the other end. Maybe it goes through here.
Were we down there?
What's that?
Were we down there at all?
No.
No, okay.
No.
So that's a different new passage. Thank you. Definitely lose sense of direction down here. I have no idea where we're pointing.
You'll kind of get an idea. We'll drive past the entrance we came in on our way back.
Gotcha.
This is the bare minimum standard.
momentum. So you go down and come back up? Yep. Oh, that's what's holding us up.
Well, Lila, that's the river. It flows naturally. It's always on. That's a good thing. Or the people are looking at it. Okay. Wow, look at that. How much longer downstairs?
Not very far at all. You'll go out that way. It's maybe a quarter of a mile more. Probably less. Maybe like an
So like 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah, 10, 15 minutes. You could get out within like.
Start making moving in.
Oh! John? Oh! Nick!
No, flowers aren't.
Flowers are mostly...
Alright, we want to make sure that we keep on moving down the stairs and we start making room for people coming on down. If you've had a chance to take a look around and take a picture, go ahead and start coming back up the stairs. We got a lot more stuff to see before we get on out.
Alright, thank you. Pay attention to the camera. Dude, look at me. Right, get there, go.
You can take a picture. One picture, that's it. Ellie, help me out.
Come on, man. Put y'all on. Come on, girl. We got to go. That's good enough. We got to go. Go.
Alright, one picture.
Yep. But we like them. You got the hard job, though, the corralling.
Smile.
This is stun gun, little stick to the camera. Now, question, do you guys do a spot where you guys turn off all the lights and stuff like that? No.
Usually we do. I think today, just moving a little slow. What?
And it's kind of
That's a good picture. I did it. My face marks it. It's funny. Look okay. Ellie, did you look up?
Ellie, come back down. Yes, I looked up.
Okay, good.
It's open.
but don't rush yourself. Proud of you. Where are you going? Yes, well, I think it's that in the world. The rock. Oh no, look, that's very cool. Quite a bit. Watch your head. What? No, mommy has to duck. Mommy has to duck.
Does she? No, I don't think so, but maybe.
That actually could be a bat house.
It's probably a bat jail.
Ooh, somebody touched our water.
Yeah. That's pretty neat. There's water down there. Same water.
It's running.
Water level.
All right, if you've gotten a chance to look at this next section, go ahead and start making your way through. We got to start making our way out of the cave. Another group will be coming in soon.
There's steps down there. Want to check over?
You got a question?
Why are there steps down there?
So a long time ago, they used to have a boat tour down in that pond, in that lake, Crystal Lake. That was about 100 years ago.
Why don't they have it anymore?
Well, this cave itself was formed 10 million years ago, but it was opened up for tours, at least this section, about 100 years ago.
Why don't they do boat tours anymore?
It's not very safe to go down there. It also has too big of an effect on the environment.
Are there the flying fish down there?
No, no fish in that one. That is actually a man-made body of water.
Anyway, why don't you guys come look at this?
This is the safest place we could be right now.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty stable environment.
If it had an earthquake, would it still be safe?
We probably wouldn't feel it.
No, not you, love.
I'm too small.
Yeah,
Hey, come here.
I agree. What? Don't do these. Scared me to death.
It's just a king
Cricket.
cricket.
What's wrong with you? Look at all those over there.
No, there's a whole bunch of them.
You got no cave crickets out there? Or maybe I don't know. You want to see one?
Yeah.
Not a new really one. Alright, you have to go work your shoes.
Thank you.